Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. Manchester United hosting Newcastle United in the Premier League at Old Trafford under the lights. Joining me, as always, is my good friend and confidant, Joe Smith. Joe, how you feeling? You feeling all festive?
I'm not feeling very confident, I can tell you that much.
Nice.
The way we've been playing recently. And the fact that Newcastle have finally got their act together as well. They look good all of a sudden.
Well, look at us scoring goals and we've got a striker who's
it's such a good time to be a Manchester United fan, isn't it? I mean, look at the topics today. Relegation and faith.
Do you know, I keep looking at in my brain it says religion and faith. I don't know why. I keep glancing at it.
Two things you need to be a United fan at the minute.
Yeah.
You're praying that we turn these fortunes around because it's absolutely diabolical at the minute, isn't it? Talk to me about relegation.
Right. This
has never been a topic before.
Andy Tate sat in this chair, I think it was, if memory serves, after the game, and he said the R word several times, and I was like, really?
Which one? The one that you see on Twitter a lot now? Musk's taken over.
What's the R word?
Don't worry about it. Move on. Sorry, shouldn't have said it. Relegation.
Right, yeah. Let's just stick to relegation for now. And I'm looking at the table, and we're in it. We're in that. We're not quite in it. We're not quite in a relegation dogfight. But if we were to lose to Newcastle and lose at Anfield, and other teams around us, the likes of Everton, Crystal Palace, I know this is genuinely this is the low point of my. This is the low point of my time.
Right. Here's the reality of it. No. We aren't in a relegation fight, but everyone below us is.
Is that what you'd say?
Everton are 2 points from safety, or 3 points from safety.
If we're going to say that, right? If we're going to say that we're not in a relegation fight, other teams below us are, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But Everton, who have got a game in hand, admittedly it's against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But they are what? 2 points behind us or 5 points behind? 5 points behind us with a game in hand.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not a million miles away.
No, that's what I mean. Like, we are literally the last team that isn't quite in a relegation battle. Yeah. And it's not like October. We're entering the new year after this game.
Yeah.
Like, we're halfway through the season, there or thereabouts. So we will.
And
be
also,
after this
if
game.
you're going off form, like, we're in it, aren't we? We're in trouble. Our form has been atrocious. We're just fortunate that we got to play Manchester City during this run, who are terrible.
Yeah. Although their form is better than ours.
Yeah.
In the last 5 games, we've got the 19th best. League form. We've got 3 points from our last 5
Only
games.
Southampton, who are doomed.
Yeah, only Southampton, who aren't even a football team, are doing worse than us. Man City are 14th in the form table, 5 points ahead of us, 5 places ahead of us. So it's an absolute disaster.
With all that being said, then,
it's a disaster.
Do you have faith in what is going on? Do you have faith that Ruben Amorim, as George Michael said, you got to have faith. Do you believe that Ruben Amorim and the people above him, alongside him, whoever, can fix this?
What is the definition of faith? Is it something along the lines of belief despite a lack of evidence?
I think that's probably the textbook dictionary definition of it, because to have faith, you can't have the evidence, otherwise that's just proof, innit? You don't have faith in something you know is right because there's evidence there.
I've got no evidence to suggest we're going to get any better.
Yeah.
Because we're playing our full strength side.
That side
that we played the other day was our top team.
Is it a pie that thinks it'd be pretty funny
if we got relegated? Yeah. us and City in the Championship next season. Something about that would be phenomenal. My only worry is we lose all of our players.
Imagine the FA Cup final is replayed in a year's time as the playoff final.
That'd be so good.
Like, we're at Wembley again, playing City again for the playoffs.
And we lose, and we have to do another year in the Championship. I do have faith. I have faith in parts of Manchester United. I have faith in Ruben Amorim. Yeah. I think he's a really good coach. And I think that he's trying to do something different. And the problem that he has is he's trying to do the same job Ten Hag did, but in a different way. Ten Hag admitted early on, I can't play my style. He said it himself, I can't play the way I did
I remember it, didn't we?
He can't do it. He changed after the first 2
The Liverpool game was where he changed it all and just went long and hoofing it up and a bit more counter-attacking.
That was the worst thing he ever did in terms of job security at Man United, because it meant that the form turned around. We went back to playing more similarly to what we did under Solskjaer in a way that the players understood, and it worked. And unfortunately for him, it was good for us because we won a Carabao Cup and we finished top 3. But for him, unfortunately it worked, because that meant that the next season, last season, when he again tried to change it, bring in Onana, bring in players who can play out from the back, change things again, have this sort of bigger gaps in places and fill those gaps with good passing and good play, we couldn't do that. And it got him sacked. So he basically bought himself an extra year by admitting this team isn't very good and having to play the other way. Amorim seems to be doing it the opposite, where he's going, actually, I'm going to play my way. We're awful, but it's going to reveal to me who can do this and who can't. I just hope he gets to the summer. Because if we're still 15th in May, I don't know if Ineos are going to take too kindly to that. And yes, it will proven that maybe Dallo or Rashford or Garnacho or, whoever it is, name anyone you want, can't play in this system, so we need to get rid of them. But if that number is more than like 6 players, we can't get rid of them all anyway. And if we're down in a relegation battle, the faith in him that he can turn this around, not from me, but from the people who actually matter, I think will have turned anyway. So he sort of has to do this, but at the same time, if it stays this bad, I don't know if he gets another season. So I have faith in him. I think he's a really good coach, and hopefully he knows all the things I've just said. And he has to stick to his guns, because if I see us playing a 4 at the back anytime soon, I'm going to really worry for him.
Yeah.
Because the results will pick up a little bit, because it's back to what the players know, and then he'll have to try this all over again next season, and it won't work then either, unless we replace large portions of the squad.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got to stick to his guns. I get it. He did warn us about there was going to be some short-term pain or suffering, I think he said, and we're seeing that. I didn't realise quite how bad it's going to be, but hopefully, and it is more hopeful than expecting, it's more hope than expectation, these players can step up, because we've still got a lot of good players at Manchester United. Let's not forget that as well. We've got a lot of good players. It's just we've got too many that aren't performing. With all that being said, then give us your starting 11, or your predicted 11, I should say, for the game against Newcastle.
Yeah, Bruno and Ugarte both out through suspension, which is frustrating. Especially Ugarte. He's probably been our best player since Amorim got here, I would say.
I agree with that.
I don't think he's had a bad game, and the likes of Ahmad and Mazraoui, who are probably second and third on that list, have had bad games. So he's not playing, which is tough. I'm going to bring Dilic back in. I think Yoro was okay, but again, he's a young kid, shouldn't be playing every game, and there's a couple of times where he looked a little bit I don't want to say not. He wasn't bad, but he just looked a little bit immature at times, I thought, some of his movement and the way that he sort of defended things. So, which is fair enough. He's a young kid. But let's bring Dilic back in now. Mazraoui and Dalot as the 2 wing backs. And I've gone Casemiro and Mainu in the middle. Just, again, lack of options. There's not much pace in there, which worries me, especially when Newcastle get going, because they're all about energy, hard work, athleticism, like just non-stop movement. And I can see Casemiro and Mainu getting ran through in the middle, but who else can we play? Eriksen's even slower than those 2. Mason Mount's injured. Am I missing someone? We're really struggling there. I don't think Toby Collier's going to start. Yeah, I was going to say, not unless you start throwing youngsters in there like Collier, which I think would be, that would be too much of a gamble. That I think. No disrespect to the kid, but this isn't. I don't think this is a game where you can start a youngster who's relatively unproven. No. I think I get what you're saying. Mine's very similar. Yeah. Again, this is predicted. I've gone with this. I think we've got the same back 4, including the goalkeeper, obviously. Then Eriksen.
At full-backs, I've gone Mazraoui and... Oh, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. At full-backs, I've got Dalot and Ahmad. Yeah. In midfield, I've gone with the same, I think, lack of options. In the 10s, the reason I've put Diallo at right wing-back, and I think he'll go with this, is he does like to change it. You mentioned there about Mazraoui. Looks a little bit leggy to me. I don't know. He's played a lot of minutes. He's gone from not playing every week at Bayern Munich to playing every minute almost at Manchester United, with the games coming thick and fast. And his last 2 games are probably the first 2 games where I've looked at him and thought he's not quite at it. Yeah. And I like Nuzem Mazraoui. I think he's been a great signing. But I just wonder whether the manager, I'm thinking of the manager now, might want to change it up a little bit, because you could make the same argument about Dalot. I don't think he's having a very good time of it, but he seems to be almost ever present for basically every manager. So I expect Dalot to start, and I think he might move Amad Diallo back to that wing-back position. He did do well there. He's been moved further up because obviously he's had success there as well, but he does get crowded out a lot recently. It's like all the opposition go, he's the danger man, just let's all get him, and then United don't have anyone else to step up. So I was struggling to find someone else in the 10 alongside Garnacho, and I've gone with Christian Eriksen just as a sort of throwback to years gone by.
You're still thinking no Rashford?
I don't expect Rashford to play for Manchester United again.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's done.
Who's going to? Well, that requires him to be bought in January, doesn't it? Or do you think he might be?
I think he'll be loaned out in January. Wow. It's untenable, this. Yeah. And not only is he not playing, and I love Marcus Rashford, so don't start going, I don't want this to happen. It's just what I think will happen. The manager basically called him out after the Wolves game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He said, is he here? No, well, you can make of that what you will, which is basically saying he ain't training hard enough.
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford ain't going to take that too well, is he? He's now missed 4 games. I think this will be his 5th if he's not picked for this one. And I expect that United will want to get some money in for him, or at least get some of his wages eaten up. And it might be a scenario where they loan him out to, say, Barcelona and pay half his wages. So Barca get an attacker that gives them another option. They don't have to pay him 300 grand a week or whatever he's on. And Manchester United can obviously, get him out of the door, which seems to be what they want to do from the manager upwards. It is sad. Yeah. It's not the way
that it's ending this way as well. It's not just like
I hate the
time
fact
for a new
like
challenge,
this.
let's move on. It's like you're banished and exiled from the team, and then we never see you again, and we never get to say goodbye and all that. Yes, but mostly due to a lack of buyers in January. The loan thing makes sense, like you said. I just hope we don't do a loan with like obligation to buy this summer, because if we do, we'll get absolutely skinned in terms of like the price on it.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to get rid of him at his worst possible moment. But if he doesn't come back in the squad, then he's worth even less in the summer. So we're in a hard position, isn't it, where everyone knows that we don't want to play him and he can't get in the team. So how much is he going to be worth at that point? So that worries me a little bit, but I don't expect him to start in this game, certainly.
I mean, it's not ideal, especially when you look at the options we've got, but this is where we're at.
Let's be honest, when he's on form, he's better than anyone in our front threes. Yeah. I know Ahmad's been decent this season. He's no peak Marcus Rashford, and neither is Garnacho or Højlund, and I'll argue with anyone about that. If he was at his best, he's the best player in that team. So it's crap that he's not available at that level.
You said something about the team you went. This is a team that finished 3rd not long ago, 18 months ago, and a big reason of that was the 17 league goals that Marcus scored. Yeah. Those 17 league goals, because if you broke those league goals down, a lot of them came in 2-1s and 1-0s.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were beating teams 5-0.
Didn't get a hat-trick in any of them.
And then you go, well, that skews the numbers. No. A lot of those goals were match-winning goals. And we haven't got that in a minute, and that matters, and that is hurting this team. But it's obviously not going to work with Marcus Rashford and the manager, so I understand why the manager's done what he's done, and I don't think Marcus will play. I certainly don't think he'll play against Newcastle. Get involved in the chat in the comments. Before we talk about Newcastle as well, get your phones out, film yourself in landscape for 30 seconds, giving us your score predictions, and we'll use that as part of our pre-match build-up on the watch-along. Newcastle, doing well, aren't they?
Yeah, finally.
Got their act together.
Yeah.
Up to 5th, I think.
Yep.
Alexander Isak is absolutely banging in goals and assists. Mm-hmm. He's looking lively, isn't he? I mean, they're like the opposite of us at the minute.
Yeah.
They've like hit good form, got goal scorers, look like there's a lot of belief there, a lot of positivity, and at the right sort of time as well, because it's like, it's coming into the new year and you're doing well and you're up there and you've got one eye on the Champions League spots.
Yeah.
I mean, it pains me to say it, but it's not a good time to be playing him.
No, it's not. And I've mentioned this before, but just as a sort of weird coincidence of when I've been free, when Newcastle have been on telly, whatever kind of coming together. Other than Man United, I've watched more Newcastle than anyone else this season.
Is that how you're going on? They start winning, so you start supporting them.
Yeah, I support Newcastle. I've probably seen maybe 10 of their 17, 18 games this season. I've watched them a lot.
You got to get a life, mate.
Early in the season, they were picking up points and playing terribly. Yeah. They got like 7 points from their first 3 games, should have lost them all. They were awful. Yeah. Then they had a little spell where they were kind of finding the feet. Isaac, I think, was either injured or coming back, and a load of, he wasn't sort of hitting those numbers that we expect from him. But in the last few weeks, they are much better. They look a lot better.
Sorry, I said the top 5. That's the form.
Where are they in the league?
I was looking at.
They are 5th.
Well, they are 5th. Oh, right. So form. Well, there you go then.
See,
spot on. I knew what I was saying. I knew I was right.
But they actually look like a proper team now, and more like that team from a few the season before last, where they work really hard, they sort of swarm over teams, and they score loads of goals. This is one thing that even the year we finished above them and beat them in the Carabao, they scored a lot more goals than us in the league that season. They've got 16 goals in their last 5 games. 4-0 against Leicester, 4-0 against Ipswich, 3-0 against Villa the other day as well. Like, Isaac is a fantastic player, 11 goals, 4 assists. He's the sort of player that United need, or certainly the amount of service he gets and the chance he gets is what United need to be doing. But yeah, we're playing a team we've really struggled against in the last few years at a time when it's bad to play them. They actually look like the Newcastle from 18 months ago or so. So I'm really worried about this. And there's a big difference between Newcastle at home and away. So the fact it's at Old Trafford gives me a bit of confidence. But I know we're not into scorelines just yet, but I'm struggling to see how we win this game personally. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't apologise. You're right. I'm with you. With all that being said, then go on, give us your score prediction.
Honestly, I think we're going to lose.
Jesus Christ!
You never say that. It's very rare that I predicted a loss. I think we'll. Where we're going to get? Why are we going to score? They're going to get at least one. They'll probably score from a set piece because I think we've conceded from 5 games in a row in the league from set pieces. So why wouldn't they score from set pieces? And I don't see us getting 2.
All right, okay.
So I think we'll probably lose 2-1.
Right.
What do you think?
I think we'll win 4-0, and I think Cole and York will get a brace each.
Right.
Yeah.
For what? Andy Cole for Newcastle. What? So we're going to win 4-0.
No,
it's 1999.
Yeah. I think Ollie might pop up with a goal. No, I think we'll draw.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I can't keep predicting losses, John.
I know, but you're right. We're crap.
It's just like being the prophet of doom. No one likes it when you're right and you predict we'll lose.
We've got Newcastle, Liverpool, and Arsenal's our next 3 games.
I just refuse to accept.
Are we going to win any of them?
I refuse to accept that we're going to lose all these games because I'm genuinely worried that Ineos will panic with Ruben Amorim if that happens, and there's a good chance it can happen. And it's not, for me, it's not when you're just losing a football match, right? Ollie lost to Liverpool at Old Trafford. That wasn't the issue. The issue was he lost 5-0 at home to Liverpool. Yeah. If we go to Anfield and get absolutely battered, and you've got Sir Jim and his merry band of men sat in the stands as the Scousers are laughing at him, that's the sort of thing that can rattle people, and then they can start making knee-jerk decisions.
One good thing that we've seen from Amorim so far is we don't concede massive amounts of chances.
Yeah.
That is one thing that under Ten Hag, especially last season, this year was better anyway, but we would have this like 22 shots against, 20 shots against, like, I think we averaged like 18 shots against.
Which is insane.
Which is insane. At least with Amorim, it's more like 9 or 10 shots per game. Yeah. So if we can limit Liverpool to that, they'll probably only score 4, which is good.
I mean, anyway, one thing that's got to happen, I mean, I'm not for starters, I don't want to see Ruben Amorim under pressure, but we have to be honest, but he is under pressure. He said it himself. Onjo Onana needs to step up as well. We can't have any more shenanigans from him over these coming games. No. Seriously, we need him back to his best because he's fell off a bit of a cliff. Joe, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
A chore. Go and check out Joe Smith on the Sloppy Joe's podcast. You know where to find me. If you're not doing so already, make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget as well, we will be here for the watch along. That's been Joe. I've been Jay. This has been a preview. Manchester United versus Newcastle. Thanks for watching.